Good evening, everyone. Welcome to TJ Speaks. I am your host, TJ. And today's show, we will be discussing how, you know, this whole migrant, um, it's not a crisis. This whole migrant situation is actually despicable. This is the effects of a government that despises its citizens. And we're going to talk about that, how bum rushing the black community um, is a part of the plan. Okay, so let's get into this. Um, I just really wanted to do this quick show today because it's very disturbing to see what's going on in the nation that I love. Um, you know, it's not very encouraging as a descendant of slaves to see a nation, your federal government, continuing this campaign against your people. To say that America has the biggest, mightiest military, but yet they're allowing an invasion of 10 million people into the country without any regard to its citizens is despicable. I feel as if, and this, this is mostly perpetrated by the Democrat Party, but also the Republican Party standing idly by and doing nothing about it. It's not helping the situation. Okay? This bum rush of a community, this is not accepted anywhere else in the world. Um, no other country in the world would allow such a thing to happen to its citizens because most countries in this world care somewhat about their citizens. That is the purpose of the government. The purpose of the government is to protect the citizens. That is the government's job. And so, what sense does it make if the government is acting without the consent of the government? You know, that's what we're experiencing today as a descendant of slave, and also as all white, all Americans, white, people come from many other different nations, many other races, all those that are American citizens, um, they're all being affected by this, but in my humble opinion, that this whole migration situation with Joe Biden and the Democrat Party is specifically to target the black descendants of slaves, as all of their negative policies, their hateful policies seem to do that, seem to be targeting this our particular group of people, and it's a shame. And it is um, betrayal of the highest sort. And I just wanted to touch on that because somehow the Democrats think this is somehow cute, and the Republicans standing by think this is somehow cute. This is not cute. This is not a cute act because nowhere in this world a government would treat their people like this. I have never came across another nation in my many travels that allows, foreign people to bum rush their voters, their citizens. Um, America spends a lot of money overseas to have overseas influence, but there's one thing that they do not do. The foreign countries, they do not allow a bunch of Americans to just evade their laws, to bum rush their way into their country, to take voting rights away from their people, to take land away from their people. In most other nations like Jamaica and China, you're not allowed to purchase land if you're not original Chinese or, a citizen. China, you are definitely not allowed to buy land, period, if you're not of Chinese descent. And it's very hard to receive citizenship in China. You have to pay a lot of money, and you're not allowed to own a home. You're allowed to rent. And it's like this in many, many nations. I'm not so much about Jamaica, about their rules, but I know, I've heard it. Um, um, it has crossed my ears at one point, but I know Jamaica doesn't allow you to just be a citizen, just like that. There's no birthright citizenship in Jamaica for foreigners. So there's a lot of things that other nations do. I know in Bermuda, they protect their citizens by protecting their jobs and the land. Bermuda doesn't allow foreigners to purchase land and property. You can maybe purchase a house, but you will not own the land. That's if they allow you to purchase a house, and really, that's for the super uber rich, and it's very limited. They generally do not allow foreigners to purchase property or land. You're allowed to rent in Bermuda. You're not allowed to own property. And you're definitely not allowed to have your entire nation from your country running into their country unrestricted. And that's what's happening. And this is going to be another stain on America's history. And I think this is going to be this migrant crisis, or this man, U.S. government migrant crisis upon the citizens, U.S. government attack on the citizens, is going to be another stain in American history. And it also may be the downfall to America, because there is no future for a nation who's building numbers of people that vagrantly disregard the rule of law. These people disregard the rule of law, the government cosigns, and then they expect the citizens that are already here to somehow go along with following the rules and regulations from these people. Do they really think that the American citizens are going to allow themselves to be governed by a bunch of people that broke into the country, by a bunch of illegal migrants? There's going to be a lot of problems I foresee in the future, because I, for one, I can't I can't respect another immigrant into this nation that has not earned their way, that has broken the law, and then you want me to follow the law for you after you broke the law? It's going to be a problem, because the same way you broke the law, I do not recognize you. And it's not my fault. This is normal society. Normal society do not recognize illegitimate people. And somehow the Democrats believe that this is going to work. America, as we know it, is not a new nation. There is not a wilderness. This is what we are in the 21st century. This country is not new. Rules and traditions and laws have already been established. But yet these people act as if they're running into a wilderness. This is not the 1800s. The 1800s was a forest. It was a wilderness. We are now in a modern age, the technological age. And we got all of these people coming in with a handout, coming in from nations that's not even developed, but they want you to believe that somehow they hardworking. Well, if you're so hardworking, I don't see it in your homeland. But I'm not going to blame those people. If they see a fool, they will use a fool. But for our government, the U.S. government, to portray its citizens like this, and then you want us to respect the politicians? You want us to stand up and protect them if something goes down? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's a limit to political power in a lawless country. After a while, since the politicians feel as if the rules are all off, they're calling off all the laws, they're calling off the rules, they're disregarding the regulations. Why should we continue to respect these people and to recognize their position as president or other positions? Why should the citizens continue to respect the president that doesn't respect the nation? If a president doesn't respect his own country, why should we do it? Just ask yourself that. Why should the U.S. citizens respect a president that doesn't respect the law? That's what I see as the problem going forward in the future. You know, and so that's what we're talking about today, real quick. Just touching on it because this is really disturbing. A lot of citizens are complaining about their quality of life and how the government is not protecting them. They work every day, they pay their taxes, they follow the rules, and they have a government that's not following the rules. There is a big disconnect right now between the government and the citizens. The government right now in America is operated as a separate entity from the citizens. They do not have the consent of the citizens to do what they're doing. Okay, and the last note, immigrants will never allow the people that's breaking into our country, they will never allow you to break into theirs. That's another facet of this conversation. The illegal people that's breaking into our country would raise holy hell if they were, for example, the white people of America was to bum rush their nation and just start moving in and taking over and voting and just taking over. They would never allow that to happen. For no white Americans, no black Americans, any other American to come run into their country, do a land grab, take all of their resources, beg them for $1. They will never allow this to happen. But yet they impose themselves onto you. That's why I do not feel sorry for the illegal migrants. And I do not support them staying. Because it's one thing to break into a country, and there's another thing to stay in a country. And the despise that these people are building up among the rank and file of the U.S. citizens, it's not going to be a nice future for them. Soon as Joe Biden's out, as soon as we get the swamp creatures out, we're going to throw them out as well. I do not want to see their future here. I do not want to see their face. It makes me sick, quite frankly, to have all of these people impose themselves onto me. Come here with their hands out, begging. Because the people have had enough. We're overwhelmed and we are overworked. And the disrespect that comes along with it. And then one day you want me to respect you. You wanted me to honor you. You want a position in our government. Are you kidding me? That will never happen. You will never get the respect from me. Because I don't respect the way you enter this country, and I don't respect the creatures, the swamp creatures like Joe Biden has sold his people out for $1. I don't respect him neither. So all those involved with an invasion of the hardworking American people are not respected and not wanted. So I'll leave you with that. You guys have a great evening. Hope your family is doing well. Good night.